All right, so we are trying something new on LinkedIn. So usually I'll do Heartship chat, live chat on Twitter, and I decided to bring it on onto LinkedIn. And I have my guest with me, Rena Friedman Ward. So I'm going to be multitasking with the same streaming and Twitter. So welcome to Heartship, everyone. This is Heartship Chat, and hope you're all doing brilliantly today. If you are tuning in, please type in where you are tuning in from, your name, and how you're doing today. How are you doing, Rena?
I'm doing well. How are you?
It's chaotic. It's really chaotic. It's just not what's happening in the world today, especially what's happening in the United States. Um, it's discrimination, it's racism, humanity is at stake. So it's a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty. And as a leader in my space of being a culture scientist, it all falls under culture. So hopefully, you know, what I try to bring solutions through the work that I do. So hopefully today I want people to engage in an honest conversation. That's what we're doing, honest conversation. So how are you feeling during this time?
It's kind of back and forth, right? Like you try to focus on the positive, but then there's a lot of overwhelm and just you look at social media and you're like, oh my God, the end of the world is happening.
Hmm.
It's a lot.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of things happening. Hopefully today we can bring some kind of discussion to everyone tuning in. So again, I want to let people know today's chat is Heartship Chat, where we explore the now of culture, the now of leading, the now of workplace. The chat mission is always to explore various facets or to what hardship is. Hardship is the now of leadership, and S. When we lead with empathy, compassion, love, and kindness, we will truly understand how people want to be accepted, thus creating an evolving culture. And of course, today I have a lovely guest, Rita Friedman Ward, with me to co-host this topic today. If you're still tuning in, please type in where you're tuning in from, and please respond with the hashtag of hardship and rethink culture so we can track you, not track you, but track the conversation. um, so, yeah, please, uh, people responding, let's see. All right. And of course, just to keep everything um, flowing really well, this is an interactive discussion chat. We will be releasing questions and we want you to engage in the question and discussion because your voice is highly imperative. Your voice and your opinions bring change as well in the form of solutions. So I highly encourage you, wherever that you're tuning in from, please do.
We have somebody from Kentucky,
Oh,
Gretchen.
guys, oh, am I missing out on all the information? Yeah.
I'm from Kentucky too. I'm from Louisville. Gretchen, where are you from? That's so cool. You reached a Kentuckian.
That's awesome. Oh, we have. Oh, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. We have so many people tuning in.
I would love to know Gretchen's thoughts on leadership. What's going on with leadership in Kentucky?
So, so I don't think they can hear us because some people follow just the track. unless
Oh,
they tune
okay.
into the live. So
Fine.
we're doing two ways, responding to them and then live interaction as well. All right. So we'll just take a moment. If you are tuning in on LinkedIn, please say hello to us, write in the comments, and please do engage with us. We do have two viewers on LinkedIn. Please share with us where you're tuning in from, how you're doing today. So, and of course, today's topic that we will be discussing on, it's one of my favorite topics. We will be touching on importance of leading honestly. And remember to use the hashtag when you respond. All right, we do have Kim from LinkedIn. Hello, Kim. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for supporting us. All right. So just to kickstart this conversation, what does honesty mean to you, Rena?
Well, right before I came on here, I posted a question in my Facebook group, Business Laughs and LinkedIn, and I asked, how can leadership get better?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's some really good answers in here about what honest leadership should include.
Mm-hmm.
So people wrote storytelling, reflection, plan of action, proper execution, putting people first and not your promotion first, listening to all points of view, not just being a yes man,
Mm-hmm.
practicing the golden rule, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you,
Mm-hmm.
having compassion, having empathy, being self-reflective. I think all of those things need to be thought about with honest leadership.
Right. So I want to pose this question to the chat and everyone listening out there. Let's start with what does honesty mean to you? So let me I'm going to type that really quickly. What does honesty mean to you? We have a LinkedIn.
I also think, taking ego out of the equation.
Mm-hmm. Ego is such an important factor to be removed. It needs to be left at the door. Check everything at the door. Hello, Michelle Scott. Yeah, thank you for being here and supporting us. So I released the first question. Honesty. Yes. What does honesty mean? So while comments are coming in on Twitter, what does honesty mean to you?
Someone else
Honesty is
said it's about protecting your freedom and liberty. That's interesting to think about too.
yeah. That's such an interesting take on it. And we also have response honesty is a combination of transparency and integrity with information sharing. Yes. And we have transparency, absolutely transparency. Absolutely transparency.
Information sharing too, where
Yeah.
things should be open.
All right, here comes the next question. And I'm going to put it on LinkedIn as well. So I am doing all this live, so I really appreciate everyone's patience. So the first question comes in the form of this. We have, right. Hard to sum up briefly. No, that's fine. It's a big question. I absolutely understand. But your input matters. What does honesty mean to you? And the first question has been released. And the question is, how can we express wanting to grow in a position with honesty? So I'm going to put this to, how can we express wanting to grow in a position with honesty when we have defined honesty as a combination of transparency, integrity, honesty? How can we express wanting to grow in a position with honesty? So we do have some responses coming in.
What did this question make you think about?
How can we express wanting to grow in a position with honesty? Honesty is a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. It's not about saying, let me be honest, and saying your hateful comments to someone. It's not about vomiting. It's not word vomiting when you don't like someone or when you find yourself uncomfortable in a situation. It's actually identifying honestly that it's making you uncomfortable. It's making me uncomfortable. Those are real honesty. A lot of people misunderstand honesty between, I'm going to be saying what I feel because it's making me uncomfortable under the blanket of honesty. So honesty is about wanting to express honesty is truly like understanding the situation, checking my ego and saying, hey, it's challenging me, but let's be honest with the other person that it is challenging me, and really understanding the situation and then moving forward with that. Ooh, I like this. Being realistic that you're not perfect. So I'm going to go down to Twitter. I'm going to share.
Honesty is the ability to silence your ego in order to grow, in order for growth to occur. Nice.
Yeah. So I'm going back and forth. Oh, this is nice. We have got so many. Honesty means everything. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Now I want to transition into the second question. Let me put the second question up there. How can one ask for mentorship honestly? Because when we want to be honest about growing in a position, this follows that as well. What are your thoughts, LinkedIn, when we express, upon expressing that we want to grow in a position with honesty, how can we then ask for mentorship? We have a comment, exactly, when being honest, a person must examine what they are sharing and why they are sharing the information. Yeah, and let's go to Twitter and let's see how the responses are coming in.
Being sincere, authentic, open, empathetic, caring, listening, leading, and guiding. Ooh, so good.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, absolutely. So, how would you answer this right now?
Honestly, I think it takes a little bit of boldness as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to sprinkle in a little bit of courage.
Right.
Because in order to be honest and open, today there's like such quick judgment that you really have to, I think if your intentions are good, state your opinion if it's not hurtful to others, right?
Right. Absolutely. And I like this, and I like that being ready to accept that your potential mentor says no, but to try to find ways to then add value to them instead of taking value from them. This is fantastic. I love this. Absolutely love this. Now, I want to hear from what Will is saying.
Ooh, I have personal experience with this. I simply stated to my supervisors my boredom, lack of excitement, that I was chosen for a special project out of a team of 200 people. Sometimes you have to flat out ask for what you want. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Asking what you want is really important. Asking what you want or really want is really important. At the same time, when you when you get rejected, do not lose courage. Do not lose courage, right? A lot of times, honesty, people don't digest it really well. When I say people don't digest it really well, because it challenges people's ego. I'm not saying that you should stop being honest, but also pivot in ways where you can find different solutions. That's being honest as well. Finding different solutions is also being honest to yourself. Okay, now I'm going to transition into question number 3. This question is, how can we as leaders engage our people? I call people, and some people call employees in other terms. How can we as leaders engage our people honestly, where we are honest with their honesty as well? We have to create that transparency. So, next question coming in.
Also, we have another response on Twitter. If someone is truly interested in mentorship, they should be able to select someone they trust, admire, and look up to. Just asking a good leader, they should be happy to mentor them. That's an interesting perspective, and I don't always think that works out.
Yeah. And I want to highlight something really important over here. There's a difference between mentor and sponsor. A sponsor is someone who will champion you all the way. And I think we need to change the narrative of being a mentor to being a sponsor. Because a mentor, you can have a million mentors, so many different mentors. We learn from everyone else. But having a sponsor, you can learn from sponsors, but a sponsor will take you to the next level. Just think about scholarships or sponsorships. Sponsorships in the form of physical sponsorships or product sponsorship or sponsorship to learn something. It takes you to the next level. So that's something different. Just coming from my perspective, but I want to hear people's perspective as well. Would you choose a mentor or a sponsor who will take you to the next level? Because sponsors, even if you think about projects or projects in a huge company, you need a sponsor to take you, to push you forward,
to invest in you.
Yeah. Investment, honesty, and sponsorship is a form of investment. So, okay, let's say respond when they try to engage you.
We got another comment here from Twitter. The thing is not to be afraid to rock the boat regarding desire for growth.
Yes, absolutely. You have to rock the boat. I'm not saying rock the boat purposely, rock the boat respectfully.
I love that. Rock the boat respectfully. Yes.
I'm going to put it in rock the boat respectfully. Any other thoughts on this for viewers that are tuning in and listening? You know, we have quite a number of responses coming in.
Okay, I have another comment. I loathe the term employees. It seems so life and listless. Anyway, as I experienced, this is where empathy comes into play. Imagine yourself in their shoes and even compare it to your own job. What's missing? What can I do? Is this even the right place for me? I 100% agree with that. And I think that there's so much hierarchy in corporate America and talking down to people. And I think that needs to change.
It's a systemic issue, it's a systemic practice. We definitely need to change all of that. Retweet. All right. So moving. What else are people saying? So let me share my screen really quickly because this is just fantastic. And someone said, "Be a role model."
Ooh, that's good too. Yes,
Yeah,
I love that.
Being a role model. So for viewers out there listening to us, what does a role model mean to you? How does a role model look like to you? And how are you a role model to them?
That's a great question.
What does being a role model mean to you, Rena?
It definitely involves truth. And it definitely involves sharing perspective, good, bad, and the ugly. You know, my dad is a role model to me, hence, you know, me starting the podcast Better Call Daddy, and he calls me on my shit. He tells me when I'm out of line, but he also tells me when not to give up.
Right, absolutely. And that's one of the things, to be honest with yourself as well, you can't give up. I want to repeat this. To be honest with yourself, you should never give up on yourself, or you should never give up on what you're pursuing.
That's great. You should write that down too.
I'm recording this, so everything.
Yeah, that's good. It's so true. And it's so easy to do. It's easy to lose.
Yeah.
My dad always says that. It's easy to lose.
All right, let's see. Let's go to Twitter and see. Oh, I love this. Role model is equals to letting wisdom speak through you. Yes.
Wow, that's great.
That's deep. Okay, I want to see who wrote this. But for some reason, the names are not popping up, so I'm going to go directly to LinkedIn to see this.
Be their beacon of hope. I like that too. That's Saeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be their beacon of hope. That's so beautiful.
I love Sai. I absolutely love Sai. Sai is going to be one of the guests in the upcoming weeks. This is the beauty. I love in interactive chats, because you get to see how people's hearts and minds are, how beautiful their hearts and minds are.
Engaging by building relationships. Let them know you care, encourage them to grow and take risks, celebrate successes in their goals, help them strive for better goals.
All right. So this is fantastic. This is so fantastic. So once we engage our people, how do we then transition to ask for help once leaders have already engaged, right? How do we then ask for help honestly?
I love the idea of pushing others once they've met their goals to further success. How many leaders do that?
Yeah. There's also let's touch on this. Pushing others further upon meeting their goals, right? Are we pushing them the way that we want to push them, or are we pushing
Ooh.
them to really unravel what it's like a diamond, right? You already uncovered the diamond, but let's shine the diamond even more to uncover what is inside them. Are we pushing them the way that we want to because of our ego? Or are we pushing them in the way that they should be pushed to unravel their inner strength for them to truly shine?
A role model is the embodiment of virtues we subscribe to become.
Ooh.
So that's again talking about the future.
All right. B. Oh, I have to respond to this. This is fantastic. And then we have another comment. Asking for help is does not reflect totally on us. Asking for help is actually a form of strength. How would you ask for help, Rena?
I ask. I try to paint the picture of what I'm going through and let them know where I'm falling short and need direction. Like right now with my podcast, I love doing the interview part. I love booking the guests. I love promoting it, but the editing, it takes me so much time that I need help with that. Somebody who's good at that technical piece.
That's a great example. That's a great example that, where you lack your strength, you reach out for help. Right. And this is something there's a difference between where you lack strength and where like opportunities are created because where you lack strength. On the other hand, not opportunities, like burnout opportunities are created because someone doesn't want to do it, even when they can do it. To create positions for other people to come in to do the burnout work. So I love how when we ask for help, right? When we ask for help, where people with expertise come in to help, at the same time, we need to rethink when we ask for help, are we asking for help where we truly can't do it or when we don't want to do it? Two things.
Right. If I had more hours in the day, I could do it myself.
Right.
But I also want to focus on the part that I enjoy and the part that I'm good at.
Right.
Could I become better at editing? Yeah. Could I edit it myself? Yeah. But is that the part that lights me up and that I enjoy? Not right now.
Right.
We got another comment here from Twitter, a bit more comprehensive. This includes my views on honesty, trust, and loyalty, 3 leadership elements I see as linked. And then he gave me a dictionary definition. Honesty has to do with seeing the facts, understanding the facts, and dealing with the facts. Let's see. Trust is something that is built over time and based on experience. Loyalty means that people will continue to follow you when others raise doubts and will always provide you the benefit of the doubt, meaning that even when you err, and you will, those who are loyal will forgive and forget.
Interesting. All right. We have got more comments where people are sharing. How do you ask for help? By being clear with your requirement. Requirement. That's such an important point, right? When we ask for help, what are some of the requirements? It's like, okay, this is what I need help with. I need help with building a house. This is what I require, as opposed to this is what I need help. This is what I expect you to do. From a space of requirement and from a space of expectation. Requirements are very specific. This is what I need help with, and this is what the help looks like, as opposed to this is what I need help with, but I expect you to do all of this. Two different things. What are your thoughts on that?
Specifics, yeah, that's why I think context matters. Like when I explained to you my story, then it made more sense versus just talking about it generally. We have another comment. Leaders need to create and maintain a common culture where everyone can buy into and participate without losing their agency. The culture can be fluid too. Being authentic, real, and honest.
Yeah. No, this is great. So I'm going to go to
describe the reasons and need. So that kind of goes back to being specific. Yeah.
Right. So my next question is on for Heartship chat is we're still talking about leading honestly. How and when does one jump in when things are behind? Right? When we ask for help, we also need to realize that things are being backed up and are getting behind. So this is the next question. How would you tackle it, Rena?
I think it kind of boils down to good communication, right? And sharing of information sharing, letting people know where you're at. And I think it's okay to be behind. I'm behind now. I've got a list of check off items. You know, if there's something that, you know, there's that rule, like if there's something that you can do right away, knock it out. And if you can't, schedule it.
Right. Yeah, but that's a great method. Those are great practices, right? And a lot of the time, when we run behind, we are not honest, right? We are not honest. Most people operate out of fear, and that backs for the bigger question: why are people operating out of fear? Is leadership doing something to instill fear? But how and when does one jump in when things are behind without hurting the other person? Remember, because being a leader is not about barking. It's not leader whip. It's heartship. You're leading from the heart. Let's see.
I love the striving for better, striving for more. I love that. And helping others do that.
Absolutely. But does that mean like when we jump in, does it break someone else's confidence?
I think it does sometimes. I mean, that's why ego has to be left at the door, because if you're on the same team, it's for the win of the team, and it shouldn't be looked at like I'm rescuing you. It should be looked at like we're all in this together and let's win together.
And that goes back to the requirement, right?
We got another comment today. Everyone should have at least 3 mentors, one who has achieved what you seek, one who understands your current life situation, and one who will kick your butt when you need it. Oh, I love that.
That is. We have a comment. Someone mentioned, I suppose it comes down to what outcome they want, what resources they have, and their timeline. The rest is up to being disciplined to do it. That's a good point. That's a very good point. And you mentioned about resources too. Resources are essential. All right. We are live, and I just lost the LinkedIn page. Oh, we're back.
We have a comment here from Claudia Castacio. She says, just do it. Don't wait for someone to feel overwhelmed. As far as jumping in. I agree. If you can lend a helping hand, do it.
Yep. Lift someone up as opposed to pushing them down or sitting on top of them. That's the difference. All right. I'm going to go on to the next question. And this question is how to take a hit for the team as a leader, and what does taking a hit look like to you? How would you respond to this, Renan?
I've had to do it multiple times. As someone who is in a superior role, I mean, you ultimately are in charge of your team, right? And so if there's a mistake, I think a good leader takes responsibility for it and takes some ownership,
right?
And why things went wrong, right?
Absolutely ownership.
Instead of placing the blame on others, asking how things could have gone better. And realizing that you played a part in that.
And blaming people does not get anywhere. Because when you start blaming, you are trying to make yourself become brighter by dimming others. That's not what leadership is. And that's not what hardship is, right? Blaming makes people lose trust in you. Blaming does not strengthen the relationship, it weakens the relationship. It creates more dissonance, it creates more gap. And there's no engagement, there's no trust building, you have lost the other person, and that's not what leadership or hardship is.
Tom Reed said, the jumping in has to be balanced with the tendency of some to micromanage. Calibrate with your mentors. Do not let people flounder, yet hold them accountable. Clarity and the initial delegation helps a lot.
Mm. All right, we have got another comment from Langton as well. So let me.
What do you think about clarity in the initial delegation and having clear expectations?
Expectations come from a two-plane. This is what I have on expectations. Expectations is not, it does not come from one plane. Even though if I want someone to get a job done, right? So let's say if I hired a research scientist for my company and I have expectations, these are my goals, These are my goals that I want to achieve. And when I hire someone, I don't want to impose my expectations onto them. What I will say is that these are my goals. This is where I want to get. How can we build a common collaboration, a common expectation where you can deliver something to me to meet the mission, to meet the goal? Because when I come from a perspective of these are my expectations, you do it, burnout can happen. That person will not be aligned with the end goal. That person will have doubts. It's just like how would you handle a friendship? How would you handle a relationship, right? With your spouse, with your partner. When you have one-sided expectations, the relationship is shorter. The people will have such remorse. People will start hating and not feel comfortable in the relationship. So I always like to look at it from that perspective, from a relationship perspective. Do I have expectations in a romantic relationship? How am I handling that relationship? And then I transfer that exact same way into people whom I work with or people whom I do business with, because it needs to come from a two plane, right? Because two people are involved. Two people need to come to a common negotiation. We need to meet in the middle. And that's how collaborative expectations happen, not expectations from one plane, which is my land. That's when things fall apart. And when we can discuss and come to conclusion, okay, this is your end goal. You can expect this from me. I can deliver all of this. And then you expect it. You accept the expectation that is set by the person who's going to deliver it. So that's how I look at it. Because when we talk about expectations, I could go on about this. But when we talk about expectations, it needs to come from a collaborative perspective, as opposed to people often say, "Oh, it's my business. I expect you to do this." Remember, people are not dogs. Even dogs are treated much better than humans. Humans are not robots. You can set your requirements, your expectations on computer. Even computers break down. So I always approach it from a collaborative understanding plane where expectations are always met in the middle.
We have another comment here from Tom Reed. He says, the leader accepts all of the responsibility when a project fails and none of the credit when it succeeds. If your ego is so fragile it needs the opposite of either of those, you are disqualified from leadership roles. Repeat the self-assessment step.
I like Tom.
Can I say you approve the message?
All right. I love this comment by Michelle on LinkedIn. When you accept, when you accept the comment, when you become a manager, you instantly accept all failure. Yep, that's true. Oh, this is the comment that you read. All right.
Oh, here's another one. Assess what behind means to the situation. What's the goal? You have to take into consideration the esteem of those involved before jumping in. Stand for your team and they will remember this gesture of yours forever.
Yes.
Taking a hit is standing up and backing them when one employee may do something which causes people to react in adverse ways. Taking a hit, I see it as standing up for them to ensure they feel safe, motivated, and committed to work for you. The buck stops here. I'm not sure how to clarify what it looks like, but for sure do it without holding grudges against the team. If you choose to take that hit, you have shouldered it, and now it's your responsibility. Right? That's a good one.
That's a really good one too. Yep. So my next question is, when does one not follow rules when rules are working against one? So you took all the constructive feedback, and and what sometimes you hear managers saying, here's some feedback for you to work on, and this is what you do. You follow the rules. But what if the rules are not working for you? How would you respond to that?
If the rules aren't working for you?
Yeah, because sometimes constructive feedback it comes along with rules, like the narrative of, if you do this, follow all the rules, then we can see what's going on, right? But what if rules don't work for someone? Because rules are built into systems, either benefits people or does not benefit people.
If the rules are laid out like that, then it doesn't seem like there's a lot of room for negotiation, right? Or
Right.
understanding. I've been in plenty of positions like that where you just have to check things off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you can express along the way how you work better.
So you say how to work better. What does that look like?
Maybe tell a story of a time where you were super successful doing it another way. Right?
No, that's yeah, no.
Where it was less listed out.
Okay, we have a comment from LinkedIn. Constructive feedback begins with trust. Yes, preach. It's difficult to give constructive feedback at in current high pressure work environment because everything feels personal and tied to our financial well-being. Great point. So it begins with trust at the leadership level, uh, through the entry level. Very great point. Radical truth telling must be part of the values. Yes. And when you feel, this is another comment, when you feel you're in a place where you truly cannot be free, you must choose to be brave. You may lose, but you'll grow professionally, which will help you throughout your career long term. Great, great point.
I totally agree with that also. You have to take self-assessment into take
Yeah, no,
self-assessment of, the situation.
yeah, absolutely. Self assessment is such an important thing. How would you look at self assessment, Rena?
Self-assessment is, how do I feel at the end of the day? Is this bringing me joy?
No, that's true. And then being honest, right? Being honest with yourself. Because if you can't lead yourself with honesty, asking all these honest questions, then we can't be successful in the environment that we want to thrive in.
See. Constructive feedback is sitting down with someone and showing them the correct procedures through modeling and seeing if they have any questions. The big issue with both constructive criticism and tough love is that each fails to be constructive or exhibit love. Start with the constructive love components and soften it with the use of questions. Have you considered? Is there some impediment to doing ...
Ooh,
That's Tom Reed.
Tom is on fire today. this is the time where I bump into technical difficulties. All right, here we go. So, what are people saying to question? Let's see, question 9. Did I release it?
Yeah. Also, Lillian Lake says, love the respect part. We often forget in our anxiousness to help. You can never go wrong with helping.
No, absolutely. Helping with the right intention, right? But sometimes I saw a post on Twitter the other day where they say there are two types of people who help. One person will have the rope, will hold the rope, and throw the other rope into you when you are drowning. The other type of help will be this person will take the rope and just throw it to you without holding on to the other end. Two types of help. One with the wrong intention, one with the right intention. That made me really think deeply.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. And the next question I'm releasing is, what does team player mean to you, and how can one become a team player?
Your rope analogy fed right into that question.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of help do you offer? And is it to grandstand or is it to genuinely help someone?
Yeah, yeah. And those are the kind of honest conversations that we need to have with ourselves as a leader or as a follower, right? Because as a leader in everyone, a follower becomes a leader becomes a follower. We've had this conversation on the podcast as well.
Claudia Castaccio said, can the work be done in a different, more efficient way, shift and pivot to balance low energy and high energy work to continue the momentum? Where can I add creativity in my work?
Creativity is such a crucial aspect of someone showing up at the workplace. And once creativity is eliminated, everything else falls, everything else fails. Because for a human, that's human behavior, that's human, right? To be human, it's intrinsic of us to have creativity. I'm not talking about, oh, you need to be a choreographer, a dancer, a painter. Creativity comes in different forms. People cook fantastic dishes, that's creative. People dress up in creative ways. People put on makeup in creative ways. People can look at an image creatively and say, hey, you stand over here, let me take a picture of you, right? Creativity comes in different forms, but when that is eliminated, a human, as a person, their essence kind of like dissipates and corrodes away. I don't know if anyone else on Twitter is.
Yeah, there's a couple of comments. Let's see. Never forget compassion when involved with human situations. Think in terms of caregiving the situation. Square those shoulders, put one foot in front of the other, and just keep swimming. The roadblocks will fall under your feet as long as you're willing to step on them.
That's awesome. All right.
Respect, listen, and communicate.
Yes.
That's what being a team player means to Claudia Castaccio.
All right, we're going to wrap up our chat. And if you're still listening at that, feel free to respond to these questions. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And the whole point of me starting this Heartship chat, I started it on Twitter. wanting to spread awareness of what hardship is and wanted to engage people to talk about the now of leadership, the now of culture, the now of workplace, and to really get everyone to talk about it and invite different guests every week. This is the first time I'm going live on LinkedIn, multitasking, because this is a chat that I do every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Twitter. But today, LinkedIn approved my live, so I wanted to do something
Congrats.
different. Thank you. So I'm going live on LinkedIn. So I'm trying to multitask. This is all live, folks. So that's why if you see me being distracted, I'm trying to to organize on multiple platforms. So join us next week. I explore various facets of hardship, which is the now of leadership, the now of culture, the now of workplace. And usually I'll have 10 questions and I'll engage people wherever that you're tuning in from. It's very interactive. It's very conversational, but in the form of chat. So if you like this, give this a thumbs up. Please do subscribe on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and don't forget to follow Rena. So Rena does fantastic things in her space. She's a podcast host, and she does magnificent things in her space to bring awareness to leadership as well. Thank you, Rena, for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun. I'm so excited to be a part of your first LinkedIn Live. Woo!
Yeah, no, I was like soberly excited when I caught the message.
I'm honored.
The LinkedIn
Fun.
was approved. So it's like, what? I got a shock. I was like, oh, okay. after 7 times I got rejected. The
Oh my gosh.
time
I'm still
I
waiting
got
for
approved.
LinkedIn to approve me. So you beat me.
So I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I was so excited. I was so excited to get that alert. So thank you everyone for joining in. I'll be back next week. Clap emojis.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you for your clap emojis. I really appreciate all of you tuning in, even though 5 people on LinkedIn tuned in, it's something, right? The whole point is to get awareness going and to engage in conversation. Thank you everyone for joining in. I will see you next week on Rethink Culture. I go live Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, my podcast is on Mondays. But I'm taking a break on my podcast. I'll be back again. So tune in, everyone. Thank you for being here, Rita. Remember, folks, lead from the heart. Hardship is the way of leadership. Thank you, everyone.